It's 5 o'clock in Pirate Country, and it's time to get pumped up with the P-Man. Hit the door and hit the road. 94.3 The Game is going to get you home, and the P-Man's not holding back.
Yes! Yes! Pirates win! Pirates win!
Bring on the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Holy mackerel! Oh, my goodness!
The flagship station of the ECU Pirates.
All right, Friday, we made it. It is the Get You to the Weekend edition of the Patrick Johnson Show, a full bore episode today as we wrap up the week. Thanks for being along for the ride on 94.3 The Game, 94.3thegame.com, the IBX Media app, video platforms, and our audio platforms as well. Thank you for being here. Dom Kasulki,
I think we're going to lose.
Producing today's show, the voice of the Tarboro River Bats.
Bats? What are you talking about?
Are they the River Bandits?
River Bandits? Come on, man. You've been talking about it all week.
I get the names wrong of all these teams, the wacky names. And imagine being Moorhead, where they change their name to Motorboaters one week and they change it to
that would be kind of fun to call.
Or something.
That'd be a fun name too. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I'll say that. Got a great show today. We've got Jason Saine on, who is the chair of the House Appropriations Committee. Now, you might say, wait a minute, what is this political mumbo-jumbo? Well, Saine is a huge sports fan. Saine is the guy that kind of chairs the board that controls the purse strings, or the committee that chairs the purse strings in Raleigh with the legislature. And he was the guy that was behind sports gambling. So we're going to talk to him about the sports gambling profits, how that's being distributed to the benefit of athletics departments and initiatives to bring sports to the state. We're also going to talk to him as he's one of the guys that's a brainchild behind this bill that would have NC State and UNC play ECU, App State, and Charlotte regularly in football and in basketball. So Jason Saine coming up. We can tell you that there is a House version of the budget. There is a Senate version of the budget. And there's a possibility that they're going to get out of Raleigh without anything being done for now. And it's not Republicans and Democrats warring against each other. It's House Republicans and House members of the Senate. So there you go. It's a little GOP on GOP crime there going on and causing the rancor and the gridlock and the loggerheads, if you will, in Raleigh. But Jason Saine coming up. Looking forward to talking to him. Mark Miller's going to be with us. Now, Mark Miller, I got a lot of hate for screwing up the name yesterday, speaking of screwing up names. But it is the Yard Gnomes. And Miller and his co-host in the morning, Laura, on 80s and 90s night for the Greenville Yard Gnomes at Guy Smith Stadium tomorrow night. The game is at 6:30. Get there about 6:10, 6:15. Miller's going to throw out the pitch. Mark Miller will be by to play Hold My Beer, and we'll also talk to him about that first pitch tomorrow. Now, you may have seen this. Some video circulating years ago where Miller threw out the first pitch at a game, and he airmailed the pitch. I mean, missed it by a mile. So Miller's going to come on to defend that lousy first pitch performance. Hey, he's got to, doesn't he, Dom? I mean, you can't.
Yeah, I'm ready to see what he has to say because he's going to need to defend it.
And we'll play the video for you later in the show if you're with us on the video audience today. We'll play the video for you. I mean, my question is this. If you threw out a first pitch that was that bad, and Mark will admit it was bad. We're not just, giving Mark a hard time here. He'll admit it's bad. If you threw out a first pitch that was that loud, would you go back more than a decade later and try to do it again? Dom, would you?
Oh, yeah. I gotta redeem my actions. I mean, you're going to see it later, but you'll see what we're talking about. It's something it's something you need to redeem yourself on eventually in your lifetime. And he's given it hopefully 10 years of practice, 11 years of practice to where he can go out and redeem himself. And we're going to get that video for you. I promise you that.
All right. I want to show you something here. We're going to get a break because we got to get Jason Saine on. Let me find this here. So, my nephew, Fitz, is at Duke basketball camp this weekend. And yesterday, this was a picture that was sent to me. Let me find the camera here.
Yep, there we go. You can see it now.
That's J.J. Redick on the phone yesterday morning.
Oh, wow.
Outside of Cameron Indoor Stadium. I think that might be an exclusive photo of JJ on the phone talking to his agent to finalize the deal to be the Lakers head coach. What do you think of that? I think that's the case. What about
I think
you?
that would be a major coincidence if it's not. If you get that picture on the day he gets hired as the new Lakers head coach. I feel like that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So J.J. Redick, the Lakers' new head coach. All right, let's get a break. We will come back with Jason Saine. Looking forward to talking to him. We'll also have Mark Miller on. A little Hold My Beer coming up as Miller readies to throw out the first pitch at the Yard-Nose game tomorrow night at Guy Smith Stadium. It is the Patrick Johnson Show. Stay tuned on this Get You to the Weekend edition. So get you to the weekend edition of the Patrick Johnson Show. We're here on a Friday. Thanks for being with us here. And as promised, Jason Saine, representative from the western part of the state, is joining us here on the PJ Show, the chair of the House Appropriations Committee in North Carolina. Jason, great to see you. I should say, Mr. Chairman, great to see you. As with it's legislative.
You don't call
Saturday.
me Mr. Saine. That's my dad.
It's legislative Saturday. Jason had a great line a minute ago talking about some stuff that went down yesterday at the legislature. How is your son, by the way, who is a ECU tailgate devotee after coming to Greenville this year?
Well, he is living his best life right now. He was at basketball camp this week at Hubert Davis basketball camp at UNC. You know, I tried to get him to go to NC State. I tried to get him to go to UNC Charlotte, anywhere but Carolina, but that's where he went. And no, Coach Davis is great. And so he's been in proximity to Dad this week. So I got to go every night as we would wrap up talks and our work at the legislative building and watch him play basketball each night, which was a lot of fun. And now he starts back to football camp next week. And so he's playing linebacker and long snapper. He's been named the long snapper. His school starting their program, and he's been training to be long snapper. So I'll just put that out there. He, one day he could play for Pirate Nation. Who knows? I know he's really good. So yeah, he's broken Mom's finger, so she now receives with soccer mitts on. I've taken one to the face. They come fast. So he's really honing his skills there and doing some plays in as a blocking running back and also as a receiving running back. So he's doing it all right now this summer. Yeah.
Living his best life. He always does, though, when he gets to go with you to all these sporting events. So that's always the good thing.
Well, that's awesome. I are starting a business together. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, he and I are starting a business together. Well, a sports marketing business where we're going to do maybe some podcasts and things related to college sports. That's in its starting stages, but he and I have been working through a business plan together, and he will be 16 at the end of the month, and we're building a future business for him.
He's got to earn his keep. He's getting to the age now. He's got to start earning his keep a little bit around there. Despite the best efforts, right? Despite the best efforts of our state lawmakers, the feds have got us all screwed up with this economy. So that's Representative Jason Saine, chair of the House Appropriations Committee. It's budget time, so the representative is proceeding with caution at every turn here because of everything going on. Not to get too in the weeds here on a sports show, but the House has their version of the budget. The Senate has released their version of a budget. It looks like that this may have a little bit of a cooling off period, and for lawmakers who don't do this full time to do other things in their vocations or with their lives for the next few months. But if there is a period of time where everybody leaves Raleigh without anything being done, yes, not your granddaddy's Big Five will blow it out of proportion of what an epic fail it is. But might that be the best thing right now to just maybe step away and kind of?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Tensions are high. We've spent a number of months working with our Senate counterparts on budget, and quite frankly, those interactions have been really good. So no one's mad at each other. No one is screaming at the walls just yet. I mean, there's frustration certainly. Would everyone like to get in and get it done quickly? Sure, but that's just not the way the legislative body works. And what really folks need to remember is North Carolina has a budget. Two ways. One, last year when we passed the budget, it's a 2-year budget. These are just budget adjustments to that existing budget. So where there is disagreement, where there's maybe the Senate says the House is spending more than they would like, maybe not to the epic proportions that comes out in the hyperbole that comes out in the press conferences, but it's spending money where maybe they don't want to spend. So there is some disagreement. But quite frankly, I think we're about $30 to $60 million apart, and in a $32 billion budget, that's not that far apart. But take a little time, a little cooling off, as you correctly point out. At $14,000 a year, legislators have other jobs. If they're still working, like I have to do, that's not paying the bills. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even pay your bills to go to Raleigh. So it's probably a good thing, and that helps build on the frustration, as you might imagine, as people were hoping to get to their summers and get to family vacations and then do their work. And so, having some time. And talks will still continue. Work will still happen. It just won't be. And while everybody's sitting in Raleigh, kind of getting mad at each other as the heat turns up as it is. And so I think this is probably a good time to take a break.
We're talking with Representative Jason Saine. He is the chair of the House Appropriations Committee in North Carolina. Big sports fan, friend of the program. And let's kind of start. Maybe work back. Well, let's work from the beginning. You were one of the chief lawmakers behind the bill that would require North Carolina State and North Carolina Chapel Hill to, on a rotating basis, in non-conference in football and men's and women's basketball, play East Carolina, Appalachian State, and your Charlotte 49ers, which I think everybody seems to be for. Everybody seems to think that makes sense, especially in football. But you kind of sold me on the basketball, and we had you on the morning show last month in that, hey, there's plenty of games. Why not do this? And if I'll tell you this, if you get UNC to come to Greenville and Minges Coliseum, I don't care if it costs me 2 years' salary. I will get you a mid-court seat for that one. How about that? We have it. You and your son can get a mid-court seat there.
We will take you up on that. I promise.
But let me ask you about for our audience, the origins of this, why you and others felt this made sense, and just let's start there.
Well, one, Appalachian State got slighted, quite frankly, by NC State when they canceled a game that had been planned. That's a money game for Appalachian State. But more than that, it's a money game for North Carolina, for every taxpayer in our state. When these big events happen in North Carolina, when you get teams like ECU and Carolina playing basketball in Greenville or playing football in Boone, or you pick your spot, pick your two teams from the state, these are big events, and these are big events to the communities where these are held. The economic boom for Greenville, as if we're talking about this hypothetical basketball game, would be huge. And you've got the pre-party, the pre-gaming beforehand. You've got people in hotels booking them out. People who want to stay the weekend. Maybe they're on their way to the beach. Whatever it is, but Eastern North Carolina would benefit from something like that. And the state would benefit from something like that, not just the tax revenue, but the fact that people tune into these games, and they tune in from all across the state, but they tune in from all across the globe too. So it puts a good, shiny, front-facing marketing piece for our entire state when these things happen. So it's much more than the game itself. The game's important. And it breeds, a fan base across the state when people look forward to that. Yeah. Is UNC or NC State probably the Goliath, and our schools at Charlotte or ECU or App maybe seen as a David, but David got a shot in on Goliath too. So that's why it makes the coaches a little nervous, because they don't want to lose like that to a team that they see is not quite to their level. And that might be the case, or it might not be. And but I think it encourages great competition, but it also encourages a lot of great economic activity for our state. So that bill was introduced. The speaker threw a little bit of cold water on it, but he's a UNC guy. But we've got a lot more folks at the legislative building who want to see it. And I've heard from senators, I've heard from House members who don't want to let this thing die. It's not going to die. We haven't put it in our budget, but we have put some other enticements in the House budget that can restart this conversation. And I think, quite frankly, make this happen. I've talked, as we talked on your show before, I've had conversations with athletic directors across the state who want to see this as well. And maybe one from one of the two big schools that said, hey, look, we're interested. Let's find a way to make this happen.
And it's not the one I immediately thought would be against it, which was kind of a pleasant surprise. But, again, doesn't mean everybody's on board with it one way or the other. And look, I've even heard from ECU fans who say, I don't know how I feel about lawmakers getting involved. But then I think when you explain, as you did really well there, okay, this is about economics. This is about what's good for the state and the taxpayers of the state and really for the fan bases. I mean, and look, the players would love to play against these schools too. I mean, these guys at North Carolina or North Carolina State, I'm sure they may know a couple guys for Utah or Minnesota, but they know guys that play at App and ECU and sure, because they all played together growing up. So, I mean, this would be so big.
Exactly.
Yeah. Representative Jason Saine is with us here. Go ahead, Jason.
Sure. So that's exactly right. I mean, families are going to follow them. You might even reignite some old high school rivalries at some point where, one kid may be playing at Chapel Hill and another at App or at ECU. And now they're back in another epic battle. I mean, the storylines write themselves. And, and I see the comments on Twitter or X and other social media where, lawmakers don't know what you're talking about. Look, I'm a sports fan too. I know just as much as the guy on Twitter that proclaims to be an expert. But I will tell you this: what I do know is the economic activity that's generated from these games and how much that can mean to our state. And quite frankly, they're public universities. They're part of the state. They're part of our apparatus. And so I think when we can make things better for people in our state by bringing in more revenue, by providing, quite frankly, the entertainment that they're looking for, and at the same time benefiting everyone across the state, why wouldn't we take that play? I think that is it's really smart politics. It's smart policy. And no one's injured in this, and that's the other thing. And we're not out to get one school over the other. We'll find ways to make it doable, make it where folks can work with their schedules. That's part of why we introduced basketball into the conversation. So it's not just football. We understand television contracts are a big deal, and you have to work with those and around those. And so end of the day, our goal is to make sure we're getting the right economic activity and quite frankly, the right kind of sportsmanship. We love having people interested in sports in the state. It's a big business, but it's also very healthy for kids in middle school and high school and college to get out and play. We do a lot of that, making sure that we don't miss those important quality of life things when we look at state budgets, when we look at how we're going to set policy. So I think this just marries very well with that.
Chair of the House Appropriations Committee is Jason Saine. He's with us here on the Patrick Johnson Show. You mentioned enticements. So sports gambling, which you were a big advocate of and pushed through, even if it didn't go through the first time, you stuck with it, negotiated, and I think it was brilliant. And the state is reaping the benefits of this. North Carolina and North Carolina State have wound up with some money out of this, where they originally were not. At least in the House version of the budget, they would end up with close to $1 million. So, was that done with the idea of, hey, this is just, when we do things that are forward thinking and make sense in the realm of sports and politics, boy, good things really happen.
Well, they do. And look, here's what we know. I knew presenting the bill that fiscal staff, our prognosticators, were really giving us a low estimate. After 1 quarter, 3 months of sports betting, we're at $42 million in revenue to the state. Their initial prognostication was $60 million after 5 years of maturity. We've done it in 3 months. You extrapolate out, it'll be a lot more than that $1 million to those schools. What we wanted to do, and this was solely my idea, as I sit there and I start putting it to paper, and I shared it with a colleague in the Senate who also liked this idea. And we started working kind of behind the scenes of what this might look like. And so when we started working on it, we figure that, somewhere, if we stay on this trajectory, and I think it's only going to get bigger, but if we just stay right where we're at and we don't grow any more than we are on sports betting, those teams will get somewhere upwards of $2.5 to $3 million a year. And as we looked at where could we get the money from, we looked at the major events fund that we created in the sports betting bill that says, hey, this is about recruiting the all-star races for NASCAR. This is about recruiting possibly Super Bowls, or it's just at the tournament in Pinehurst. Those type of things to really bring those into the state, because they do bring so much economic activity. And why not, if we've got 6 schools that are having big events every time they open the doors to the stadium, maybe they should share in that revenue too. So really everybody wins here. We're not taking from any of the other schools. You remember we put in 13 schools, our HBCUs, so that they could enjoy the benefits of this revenue coming in from sports betting. And now we include NC State and UNC Chapel Hill to be a part of that as well. And, well, ECU, App State, UNC Charlotte, and North Carolina A&T are going to benefit even more, because every time they open the doors, at least 10,000 people are showing up. I mean, North Carolina A&T historically as an HBCU is one of the premier programs where fans show up every time there's a home game. That's a big deal. Yeah. And so they should share that revenue.
I am going to give you a chance here to talk some more sports and brag a little on your 49ers. They did beat my alma mater in homecoming this year here in Greenville. They beat twice in basketball the Pirates. I got to call the game in Greenville. And so, yeah, the 49ers. What kind of year are we looking at with I think I read again in Phil Steele that they might lead the American, at least, in P4 transfers down to Biff's team there. So what kind of year are you looking at with the Niners this year?
Well, very excited. Both Jackson and I, my son, he and I have become really close to Coach Poggi, and really just a true friend, and does it for all the right reasons. Remember, he's a man who's made his wealth in other things other than sports, and got involved in high school coaching because he really just had a passion for helping young men not only be better athletes, but better people. And he's taken that same attitude. Of course, he went to Michigan, was an assistant coach with Coach Harbaugh, and now at UNC Charlotte, and a guy who's just bigger than life. When we did come to Greenville, he wanted to go to Sup Dogs. I told him about Sup Dogs, and we went out, and he got to sample some of the dogs. I mean, and look, even though it's a friendly rivalry, and we were there to kind of rough you guys up a little bit. The kids were just super kind to Coach Poggi, and he loved it. He absolutely loved it. He said the people in Greenville were fantastic. He looks forward to that game. Of course, we're going to bring you into Charlotte this time. Hopefully we get the same result, but we're not going to take anything for granted, because I know the Pirates are going to come in ready to play. And but looking at our conference, with the transfers that we've got this outstanding quarterback. He was a backup at Florida, so University of Florida, and he is going to be phenomenal. He can air it out. He came into a couple games for them, played very well. We did our spring game about a month or so ago, and I'm telling you, we're taking to the air. And he is just amazing. His name is Max. Max is we're going to take it to the max with Max, because he is really, really good quarterback. But we've got some beast of linemen now. I mean, these guys walk in. We got a guy that's 6'8", gentle giant. But and he came with Max from Florida. As other kids are hearing about what's happening at Charlotte, we think we're really positioning ourselves to be in a really good place, to be a team that's competitive every year. And so that's where we kind of stand right now. We got Coach Brewster, who you might remember that was at UNC Chapel Hill, a prolific recruiter. Coach Oz has got our defense dialed up. We've done some great recruiting in the off season.
Nobody likes a bragger scene. Just so you know. All right.
well, let's see how we are mid-season. But I do feel like we're going to be in good shape.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's great to have you on. I could ask you about a dozen other things, so we'll love to get you back on at some point later in the summer to kind of give an update on where things are, legislatively with all of this, and just get your thoughts on some other things. Conference realignment, where teams in this state, factor into that. I mean, it is wild. So, but we'll let you enjoy the rest of your day and let you enjoy your weekend. Thank you for coming on with us. We really appreciate it.
Patrick, great talking to you. Thanks again.
All right, so the Patrick Johnson Show right here on 94.3 The Game, 94.3thegame.com, and the brand new IBX Media app.
I'm Dom Kasolki with your sports update and Pirate Report. ECU baseball infielder Nathan Crispin has entered the transfer portal. The China Grove sophomore appeared in over 70 career games for the Pirates. Mainly as a late-game defensive substitution, Crispin swiped 13 career bases in his time in an ECU jersey. J.J. Redick is being hired as the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. The 39-year-old Redick is an extraordinary choice by the Lakers, who hired a 15-year veteran with absolutely no coaching experience to lead a franchise with 17 NBA titles, one of the biggest brand names in the world, and LeBron James, the top scorer in league history. Redick was a proficient outside shooter for 16s before his retirement in September 2021, when he moved into a career in broadcasting and podcasting. He joined ESPN's lead commentary team earlier this year. Redick was a standout at Duke and is the leading scorer in the history of the Blue Devils, where he played 4 seasons under Mike Krzyzewski. The Carolina Panthers are returning to their roots in a celebration of the franchise's 30th season. This year, the Panthers will be hosting their Fan Fest at Clemson University's Memorial Stadium. While Memorial Stadium is best known for being the home of the Clemson Tigers, the football stadium was also the inaugural home of the Panthers. NCAA has presented a plan to Division I conference commissioners that would expand the lucrative men's and women's basketball tournaments by 4 or 8 teams, alongside an option to leave each field at 68 teams. The proposals were outlined to the commissioners this week by NCAA Senior Vice President of Basketball Dan Gavitt and NCAA Vice President for Women's Basketball Lynn Holzman. The news was first reported by Yahoo Sports. Under the proposal, expansion of the 68-team field included both 4 and 8-team models. The NCAA would keep its 64-team bracket, but would add playing games involving the 10 through 12 seeds. Congrats to ECU's Big Honey, Chris Hunichin, who won the 100K Buy-In World Series of Poker Tournament in Las Vegas. Big Honey takes home $2.83 million and a WSOP bracelet. Chris has been one of the best professional poker players in the world for a number of years. Plus, he was supporting his ECU Pirate football jersey at the final table. Carolina Windows and Doors clinched the Greenville Little League Championship with a 2-0 win on Thursday night at Stalling Stadium. They sweep the best-of-3 series 2-0. That'll do it for your sports update. Let's send it to a quick break before Mark Miller joins me and Patrick for an edition of Hold My Beer on 94.3 The Game.
Do you have something you need to get off your chest? Get off your chest.
I am not here for rage. I'm here for revenge.
Did your favorite team blow another game?
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Or is there just something that's driving you crazy?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
It's time to let it all out.
You have made me very angry indeed.
With another edition of Hold My Beer.
Hold my beer.
Triumphant return of award-winning morning show host Mark Miller from our sister station, 107.9 WNCT. We're bringing Miller in for an exclusive talk of just Philadelphia sports for the next. No, Mark Miller's with us.
That does not sound,
No, you don't want that.
Does not sound fun at all.
I could do that,
right,
but
Miller,
I don't think you want it.
We discussed this yesterday. You went to Pitt because there's no way on earth anybody's just a Pitt Panthers fan randomly.
Oh, God. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, to be honest with you. Yeah. So I did, yes.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to wonder what the correlation was with the Pitt fan. I'll give Miller this. Miller is a true blue, dyed-in-the-wool fan of his teams. He never wavers on them. He's not a false optimist. Miller sticks with his teams. Even
If anything, Patrick, I'm consistent And there are a lot of rough times, but I stick with them through. That's what you have to do. Who's jumping ship? I mean, you grow up.
A lot of people jump ship.
They suck.
A lot of people jump ship.
They suck, though. You know what? Hold my beer, those people.
All right, we're going to do Hold My Beer in a minute. We brought Miller on here because, one, he's radio gold anytime you have Miller on the air with you. Two,
appreciate that.
Mark Miller and Laura are going to be throwing out the first pitch at tomorrow night's Yard Gnomes game in Greenville at Guy Smith Stadium. It is 80s and 90s night, courtesy of 107.9 WNCT. Now, let's review some footage from 11 short years ago.
I shared this with you guys.
For those of you on the video audience, I will describe the play-by-play. Go ahead and hit it, Dom. This is video if you're with us on our video platforms live or if you're watching later.
You guys can turn off your TVs and just try audio for this one.
Here we go.
Miller goes to the mound. Goes to the mound here to throw out the first pitch.
Moorhead City Marlins game is what it was.
Okay, I was wondering where this was. So this was a college summer league game, much like the one you're going to be throwing the first pitch out in on Saturday night. Dom, do we have it, or did Miller
I'm just waiting for you guys to.
Oh, go ahead. Play.
Okay.
I'm going to commentate over it. Go ahead,
let's do
Dom.
I can explain it too. Here I am pumping the crowd up.
Hey, you're pumping the crowd up. All right, Miller, tell us what's going through your mind right now.
Well, I looked into. Okay, it was too much. It's all happening very quickly. Okay, so you can't really see it the way I'm looking at it here. I see the recording of it here, and it kind of cuts off. It looks like the catcher actually jumped up and caught it. That did not happen. It sailed far above the catcher's outstretched glove. I was real nervous.
Miller pumping the crowd up. Pumping the crowd up when he's out there hot dogging, and then he winds up like an old timey 1940s pitcher, like a Bugs
thought it
Bunny
would get
cartoon.
some laughs. I'm a guy who wants laughs.
And he hurt. Well, that was funny. He hurled it towards the catcher, and the catcher came out of his crouch. The catcher could have been Manute Bol and wouldn't have caught that.
Would not have caught it.
What's great about the video? Put it up one more time, Dom.
Please don't.
103.3 morning show.
I looked the catcher off, by the way. If you take a look, I'm staring down the catcher, and I look off his first sign.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
Let's see.
Look at that
Watch this kid in the yellow shirt. He can't believe how bad it was. This kid in the yellow shirt turns around and is like, the hell is that? So Miller,
one last time.
I'm hoping you're accurate. One last time. Here we go. Miller pumping the crowd up. Miller shakes off the pitch. Miller winds. He delivers just a bit outside.
I didn't come here to be publicly shamed, Patrick.
So I would be terrible at this, by the way. Let me ask you this. Are you going to be better on Saturday night?
Yes, I promise you I will be better on Saturday night. 80s night with the Yard Gnome. It's going to be a lot of fun. I will also be dressed up. I have a wig that is an 80s wig. It kind of, I don't know, maybe a little CeCe DeVille style type of wig I got going on. There's a leopard print bandana that I'm going to put on. I will have some, what do you call the sunglasses? Oh, no, I can't. Aviator sunglasses. There's going to be some jelly bracelets. We're going to do everything up. And through that, I will focus and I will deliver. I'm promising the people, the American people, staring into the camera right now, I will deliver a perfect pitch tomorrow night.
We better see a video.
All right.
Oh, I'll share video.
Okay.
The people need to see it.
No matter
I need
what.
to clear my name. It's the redemption tour
tomorrow. We better play it on the show at some point, even if I'm not producing. We gotta get Phil up to.
Tom, I'm putting you in charge this weekend of getting the Miller video and getting it to Philip for Monday, okay?
Okay, I got it. I will be begging Miller over the weekend.
Look, if it is the perfect pitch, I will send it to you automatically.
Oh, yeah. I won't even have to ask if it's great.
About 6:45 Saturday night, I'm going to get a ping on my phone. I'm going to look down, and there's the video, yes, of Miller sending out to everybody that he knows the perfect pitch.
That's right. I can finally say I did it.
6:30
Redemption
is the game.
tour.
6:30 is the game, right? 6:30 is the game.
Yes, and 6:15 is the 6:15 we're going to throw out the first pitch. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Excellent.
Can I just say
so
a couple things about that for real quick? I don't want to go too long with this, but I had several drinks before I went out and did that. I did want see, this is all true. I did want to give him a show with that sort of old timey wind up that I had never practiced.
Right.
And
yes.
I knew I couldn't short it. The thing you just can't do is have it bounce.
Short it, yeah.
So I did the polar opposite. I tried to play catch with the Lord himself. Like I threw it as high as possible. And it's terrible.
Well, I thought you were going to be in good shape when Dom first showed me the video because you did the smart thing. See, people make a big mistake on the first pitch. Some of them go to the mound, and that's a no-no.
Yeah, they didn't let us on the mound for that one.
Right.
They're not letting us on the mound for tomorrow either. So
Good.
I'm feeling very confident about this. In fact, we did some practice with our friends from the Yard Gnomes just a couple days ago, and they said it wasn't going to be I don't think we're going to be as far out as I was for that pitch. I don't think they're maybe they're doing that because they saw the video. I don't know.
They might have seen the video and know what's ahead of them. All right, Mark Miller from 107.9 WNCT is with us. Can Laura get it to the plate?
Yeah, well, look, we have video of her doing it, of her working with the Yard Gnomes pitching coach. She did a great job yesterday, and I'm very confident. I'm feeling very good about her, too. I am her biggest supporter. I would cheer her on if we weren't doing it at the exact same time. There's going to be two first pitches simultaneously. My one little fear is that she will try and throw it straight, and it will end up hitting me. And I'm right across from her. Somehow it'll still end up hitting. I don't know how that's going to happen.
And somehow back into the left. It'll be out of a Zapruder film aspect to it. All right. Let's do a little Hold My Beer. You know the rules. It's kind of what grinds my gears. The world of sports, slice of life, whatever you want to do. Mark, you are always gold when it comes to Hold My Beer. So we'll let you go first.
Wow.
Little Hold My Beer, and then you carry on. So
I appreciate
and then Dom and I will comment. So go ahead.
All right. So my Hold My Beer is a sports one this week. It does not have to do with the fact that everyone has now seen that video, although now I'm starting to think that should be 1A. As a Philadelphian, I grew up in Philly, and at age 5, the Sixers won. It was 1983, and the Sixers won the NBA championship. I was 5 years old. I don't remember a thing. In 2008, the Philadelphia Phillies won the World Series, and I remember every part of it. I was 30 years old at that point. In between those two events, it was a desert. It was a wasteland of a lot of crap. Some good moments, but no parades, nothing like that. What really grinds the gears and what makes me want to say hold my beer is that a kid growing up in New England, in Boston, has known nothing but happiness to the point where I'm pretty sure they expect it now. Every year, every couple years. Oh, one of the team's going to win a championship. That's what happens in life. We all get everything we want. I never had that growing up. Never. They have had so much happiness. And let me tell you this. The least happy thing that ever happened in Boston in the past, 25 years in sports was the fact that their 6-time winning Super Bowl champion quarterback left. 6 of those Super Bowls were in New England, or 5? I don't even know anymore. I don't even care anymore.
6. He's got 7, doesn't he?
Right, he's got 7. That's it. 6 of them. Oh, no, he left. He also gave you 6 championships. I have no sympathy. Yeah. And here come the Celtics again. More happiness for Boston. It drives me insane.
He also gave them the first signature entertainment, or gave us the first signature entertainment vehicle of the year with the summer with the roast.
The roast was good. All right, I'll be honest. The roast had some good moments.
I've only seen clips of the roast. But
yeah,
the roast,
me too. But the clips I saw were very, very good. I would say that Boston people don't deserve that much happiness in a short span.
No.
And that's true. But also, I would say nobody deserves that. The happiness is that much better when there is some sadness close to it. They've known nothing but happiness.
I would roll out there and offer. They have Boston College, but no one cares. So that's there's nothing there. I mean, even Miller's lowly Pitt Panthers beat up on Boston College. Come on.
Yeah, we did that occasionally. They always have something to fall back on, too. Oh, the Red Sox didn't win the World Series. Well, the Bruins won. Oh, the Patriots won.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I'm just sick of them. That's it. That's the one for me this week.
All right. I think that's Dom is a Celtics fan.
I might have to. I have to give him a little bit of response when I go.
Okay. Oh, I can't wait for this.
All right. Well, all right. It's your turn then, Dom. Hold my beer. Go ahead. He's of legal age now, even though he looks like a young Howard Stern from Private Parts.
Hold my beer. Actually, my mother has been watching the show because I've been on it this week, and she loves that you say it. She thinks it's hilarious that you say that about Howard Stern.
Will she watch the show and listen to the show now that you're not on it after this week? Or have we converted her to a P1 or what? No.
I mean, I think it might help that her son is on the show. I can't lie. But anyways, I think...
All right, shut your mic off, Tom. Shut your mic off.
Nobody see you guys. From you.
No. I can't look at him now without seeing the Howard Stern comparison.
Oh my gosh, he's trying to put that on me. Anyways,
Dom, say WNBC very quickly.
No, thank you. WNBC. Okay. Right. Anyways, the Celtics. I'm not a New England Patriots fan. I haven't been blessed with that. So I think being a Celtics fan and having to watch us get so close so many years and get, even though, I don't want to be a fan of a team that never wins and never gets close. And I'm not saying that about Philadelphia, but you guys never get out of the second round. But
I'm well aware of this. Like it's just reinforcing the point, by the way. But go ahead.
But the point is that they get even more hatred getting so close and never winning it. That I'm not a Patriots fan, so I have felt the pain of losing over and over again. So this does feel new to me because I'm more of only a Celtics fan. I am a Red Sox fan as well.
Okay, now how many? Let's
okay,
see
but
here.
I
In the
haven't
last
been
25 years, 3 world championships.
Okay, but the thing is I haven't been a baseball fan my whole life. I actually didn't like baseball for a long time, and I wasn't the biggest Red Sox. I mean, my mom's from Boston. That's why I like Boston teams. So I wasn't the biggest Red Sox fan.
Your mother's watching right now?
I'm sure she is.
I take it back. I take back what. Well, okay, she's the exception to the rule. I'm sure she's a lovely
okay.
woman. Everybody else
Thank
I have
you
a problem
so
with in Boston.
Everybody else, I get it. But I think I deserve that. But anyways,
I have a big problem with Dom's mom, by the way, after not tuning into the show after today.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, that was just a response to that. My Hold My Beer is just a small segment about the courts closing, basketball courts closing for the summer at the ECU Rec Center. That's pretty much all I can do. Well, we were talking about it earlier in the week.
They open on the 15th. Okay,
they open on the 15th, but I haven't. I mean, they have the Health Science Center, but it costs a lot of money to park. It's farther away. It's just a drag. It was just a little much having to go into the final 2 weeks of the school year without having basketball.
Sounds like something you would gripe on WZMB about, not my show.
Well, this is a sports show, and I'm talking about sports, so I don't see anything wrong with it.
I sympathize with that. I feel you.
I don't
man.
have much to do this summer except for work and work in Tarboro and play basketball and work out. So taking away basketball, which is probably my favorite thing in the world to do, it's just it grinds my gears. And that's
you
it.
can always look. I have a basketball hoop in my backyard, in my driveway, and my son is literally always out there. He's on a team. They travel and all that kind of stuff. So he's always practicing. So he would. There's a bit of a height disparity, but he would gladly appreciate the little one-on-one every now and then.
I really don't have a hold my beer because anything I have a gripe about right now would get me sued. So I can't really say that I have a particular gripe. I guess my hold my beer, I don't know what it would be. I guess it's just the heat.
Yeah,
I don't like this. We've gone from. I mean, I've been wearing long sleeves in the morning, Miller, because we get up and do morning radio, and I mean, I've been a little chilly. Been a little chilly in the morning. No more now. It's brutal. So swamp ass. That's my hold my beer. Swamp ass, because it's going to be returned to swamp ass season. Miller, protect yourself from the potential of swamp ass when you go out there tomorrow night.
I am. Well, I don't think there's any hope in that. By the way, like I have no idea how to protect myself. We all experience it. The only way to protect yourself from swamp ass is to not leave the house. And I have to leave the house tomorrow, so I am okay. Look, it's going to happen. I'll be all right. I've gotten through plenty of years of swamp. I'm like the Boston fan. We're all like the Boston fans of swamp ass. It happens every year. Just have to deal with it. They probably celebrate it up there. I don't know.
I'm in Tarboro almost every night, and I'm getting swamp ass each night. I mean, 7 to 10 p.m.
I'm getting swamp ass just thinking about it.
All right. Well, hey, it's been an addition to one for the books. Don't forget, Mark Miller tomorrow night at the Greenville Yard Gnomes, along with Laura. Mark and Laura from the award-winning 107.9 WNCT morning show. He'll be throwing out the first pitch. Get there early. Get there about 6 o'clock. Miller will be throwing out the first pitch along with Laura at 6:15. Have your cell phone cameras running.
That's right.
Tweet it to us at 943 the game. I want to see this tomorrow. Miller, great to talk to you.
Thanks,
as it
man.
always is. Good luck tomorrow. And
Appreciate
thank
that.
you for coming by the show here today.
Appreciate
Really
it, guys. Always a pleasure to jump on.
All right, we're taking a break, and we will wrap up things for the week right after this.
And now, the stunning conclusion of the show. It's the P-Man here on 94.3 The Game.
All right, it is the final segment of the final show of the week. Back Monday with a fresh edition. I think LeBlanc may join us Monday or one of the early days of next week. I want to talk about this new Canes GM. Thanks to Jason Saine, chair of the House Appropriations Committee, for being on with us today. Also, Mark Miller from 107.9 WNCT, going out the first pitch tomorrow night at the Yard Gnomes game for 80s and 90s night. Thanks to Dom Kasulki.
I think we're going to lose.
Great job producing this week, and have a great weekend, Ms. Kasulki. Hope you'll tune in again. For all of those involved, I'm Patrick Johnson. Have a great and safe weekend. See you in the morning on Monday on Talk of the Town, and then back here in the afternoon for the Patrick Johnson Show.